We are back with a brand new video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what is the future of Omer Yurtseven on the Miami Heat. Leave a like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on post notifications so you guys do not miss a single video of mine. Almost at 2K subs, man. We want to get there as soon as possible. So on the road to 2,000. Check out my second channel. It's more like draft content now because of the draft is coming up. So if you guys are interested in that type of content, but I'm also going to be doing like NBA content as well, hit that subscribe button on the second channel. I'll put the link in the pinned comment as I always do. But yeah, man, let's get right into it. So the player we're going to be talking about, like I said, is Omer Yurtseven, and the reason is I don't think I've really talked about Yurtseven a lot. You know, since he had his stretch of games where Bam was injured when he was playing, I don't think he's gotten a lot of attention as far as, you know, his name being mentioned and stuff like that, because he hasn't been playing much. So I've kind of ignored Yurtseven. But I think this is going to be something that the Heat are going to have to figure out, is what they're going to do with Yurtseven next season, and like what is the plan for him in the future, if he's going to be part of the team, if he's going to get traded for like a Donovan Mitchell and like a package like that. Like, what is the future of Yurtseven with the Miami Heat? I think that's what we got to figure out here, because there's a lot of possibilities out there. You know, there's a certain part of Heat Twitter that wants Yurtseven to be the starting center next to Bam. There's a certain part of Heat Twitter that wants Yurtseven to be traded. There's a certain part of Heat Twitter that wants Yurtseven to be the backup center instead of Dedmon. Like, there's a lot of like different avenues that the Heat can go with Omer Yurtseven, and I do think that Omer Yurtseven has high potential. Like, this is a guy that even before he came to the Heat scored like 91 points in a game. Like, he has great scoring potential, in my opinion. His shooting mechanics are a lot better than people give him credit for, and I think it's because he didn't take too many threes with the Heat, that a lot of people don't look at him as like a pick and pop type of guy. But I think he definitely has like shooting and scoring type potential that he hasn't been displaying, because the Heat have wanted him to be like a rebounder who can just, you know, get putbacks and stuff like that. He hasn't really been able to showcase his full skill with the Heat yet. But I think that Omer Yurtseven has a lot more room to grow and a lot more potential. And I think that as a 3-level scorer, I think he definitely has potential to do that. I mean, we saw him in Summer League lighting it up, and I know it's just Summer League, but still, you know, this is a guy that can hoop for sure. But yeah, Omer Yurtseven last season had a pretty good rookie year, in my opinion. I think that he had some games where, you know, he started 12 games. I think in those 12 games he had doubles, and I'm pretty sure every single one of those games. So I'm a huge fan of his, you know, his growth as a Heat player. I think he's very humble, but he's also confident at the same time. Like, he has like that quiet confidence about him. And I do think that he's a guy who's always going to be ready whenever his number is called. Now, with saying that, what is his future with the team? And I'm going to lay out the 3 options that I just, you know, briefly talked about. Number 1 is a starting position next to Bam. Now, I would not like this. I mean, not because I don't like Yurtseven, but I think that you need like a guy who's going to be ready to, you know, help this team win a championship. I don't know if Yurt is, you know, going to be ready in year 2 to be the starting center of a championship pushing / contending team. So I would rather he doesn't start if he plays for the Heat next season. I would rather that he comes off the bench. But I know a lot of, you know, there's a cult of Heat fans on Twitter who want Yurtseven and Bam to be the front court next season. And I guess like the fit, I can see the fit there. But I'm pretty sure someone asked Pat Riley this question and he kind of just ignored it. Because I don't know why, but like he just ignored the question. I don't know who it was, but someone asked Pat Riley this at the end of season presser about Yurtseven's fit next to Bam, and he just did not answer the question. So I don't know if the Heat are even going to see Yurtseven as a guy who can play next to Bam. I don't know if the Heat are going to see anything in Bam that wants him to play the 4. So I think Yurtseven and Bam is just like, it's more of a fiction than I think a reality. I don't think that the Heat are going to experiment with that, especially because they're trying to win a championship. Like, you don't have time to experiment with young players and stuff like that. So I would not start him next to Bam. I think if you want to start a center next to Bam, I think you have to go out and get one, like a Christian Wood or a Miles Turner or someone like that. Yurtseven is a good player, obviously, but I just don't think his game is as polished as it needs to be a championship level starting center. And he's not like it's not like his game is very simple where he's just gonna block shots and rim run. He's not athletic, so he's not like a Robert Williams, where Robert Williams just got plugged in and he was just able to go because Robert Williams' game is literally just block shots, catch lobs, play defense. Yurtseven's offensive game is a lot more, complicated than Robert Williams and guys like that. So I don't think he's going to be the starting center. I would rather he's not the starting center of the Heat next season. The second option is him being traded. Now, this obviously is probably going to be dependent on who the Heat get back. But I think there has been some rumors, obviously throwing Yurtseven in packages here and there, like for the Donovan Mitchell package or the Bradley Beal package, hypotheticals obviously, but in mock trade packages like that, I've seen Yurtseven's name being thrown in as like a sweetener because he's a young player and the team could take a chance on him, especially because he's shown potential last season. Now, if he does get traded, I would want to get a guy who can impact the team right away back. Like, I was a big proponent of trading Yurtseven at the deadline last season for a PJ Washington. And because I just thought that, if a guy can help you win the championship right now, and if you get a ring, then it doesn't matter how good the guy you traded gets because you got a ring. And I don't know if we could have won a championship with PJ Washington, but he would have definitely helped the team for sure. Yeah, I would, if Yurtseven were to get traded, I would hope that it's for a guy who can help us win now. Maybe in like a Christian Wood package, maybe Yurtseven number 27 pick, and then Duncan Robinson's contract for Christian Wood. I don't know, maybe that's just like fantasy, but if he gets traded, I don't want it to just be like for like a salary dump. I don't want it to be like what it was for KZ, where it was like we traded KZ for basically nothing. So we like freed up a pick, but that was about it. So for Omer Yurtseven, I do think that if he were to get traded, I think it should be for a guy who can really help us just compete for a championship at the moment. And that's why, I was pretty okay with people throwing him to trade packages for guys who can help us win now. So that's the second option. The third option, which is probably the most ideal and probably the most likely in my opinion, is that he's the backup center next season. I think that Dwayne Dedmon, although he had a really good regular season, his playoffs, I was not a fan of his playoff performance. I think that he had moments here and there where he was, showing very high energy and stuff like that. But I think that, he was picking up fouls so quickly, man. Like every time Dedmon was on the court, like it's instantly he was just fouling people. And I was like, bro, like you're just committing silly fouls. Like I remember against the Celtics, he had like a couple, I think it was in Boston this game. I don't know what game it was, but if it was game 3 or 4, but it was in Boston where he just fouled like a 3-point shooter 2 straight possessions. And I was like, bro, like what are you doing? Like you're an NBA veteran, you should be smarter than this. So yeah, I'm kind of not done with the Dedmon experiment because I don't know if he's going to be back with the team next season. But like I would rather Yurtseven be the backup center, especially because he's shown that in his minutes he can be very productive. Now this is going to be something he has to earn because I think Spo and Pat Riley are always going to go with the more experienced guy out of the two. Like we've seen, even when like Yurtseven was having his good games, instantly when Bam was back, they went back to Dedmon off the bench. They did not go with Yurtseven. So yeah, I would much rather have Yurtseven be the backup center instead of Dedmon next season, because I think Dedmon is he's kind of shown that he can run out of gas sometimes, man. He's not like the most durable player as far as he doesn't get injured and stuff like that, but as far as like being gassed, you can see that his playoff performance, he was not the same player that he was in the regular season, and that kind of scared me, because I think when Bam was not on the court, we were just kind of like there was no one who was able to pick up the slack from the center position. So the most ideal scenario and the most like the scenario that I would want the most is for Yurtseven to be the backup center next season. I think that he does have a lot of potential at that position. All he has to do is just play hard whenever Bam is not on the floor and just play his game. Like the double doubles, I think his rebounding is something that we could definitely use, because we're not the best rebounding team, and I think he's a rebound machine. So he does definitely have a knack for just getting the ball off of the glass whenever whenever it's in the air. So he has great instincts, he has great touch, and I do think he has a future with the Heat. Maybe as a starting 5 next to Bam, but as of next season, I would have him as the backup center. But yeah, Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below as to what you guys would do with Omer Yurtseven. Like what would be his role in your opinion, whether you want him to start, whether you want him to, you know, get traded in a package, whether you want him to be the backup center. Let me know what your thoughts are about Omer Yurtseven in the comment section below, because I really don't think that a lot of people have been talking about Omer Yurtseven. I think it's been like a foregone conclusion that Yurtseven is just going to be on the Heat next season, but I think it's a lot more deeper than that. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about what his role should be. And yeah, I'm gonna sign off here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Peace.